Hello and welcome to Opinions Plus. I think I've got the lighting right this time, at least apparently. Um, so today kind of falls back on some of the other clips, recent clips. It's a shame, and I hate to have it all negative, but we can't correct the good. That's already good. But you can correct the negative. And how do you correct the negative? By talking about it. You can't ignore it. There's this thing that, commercial or the commercial networks and media should talk more about good things. And I could, I guess, but they wouldn't get the ratings. People want to hear what's going on, supposedly. But then they twist it and change it and modify it. And really, it becomes just entertainment tonight. That's all it is. Yes, there is benefit to it when you're directing people to the critical elements of the situation before them. I don't care whether it's politics or whatever it is, but mainly politics because that's what's grabbing the soul right now. Um, you know, and whether it's Gaza, which is a horrible situation, it's terrible because innocent people are always affected. Always. Come on, people. It isn't just Biden in the U.S. and, um, you know, look at Russia and the Ukraine. Innocent people. Always the innocent. It's just the way it is. But you pick your side, you see how it goes, you see who drums up the most sympathy. All people need sympathy. All. All the hurt, all the sorrowful, all the aggrieved need our sympathy. Don't you agree? They need it. We have to give it. It doesn't have to be money. It has to be thought primarily. That's the first thing. You have to give thought, give your ideas, give your perspective, reach out, correct the society, correct the wrong. You don't know who the next Mandela is. You don't know. I think Mandela was a great character um, symbol, yet he had flaws. Yeah, he wasn't just a guy who stayed 26 years in prison, came out and ran a country, and this guy Trump saying that he's an example like Mandela. No, he's not. No, he's not. There's a cause, there's a mission, there's a value behind what he's doing, Mandela. There is no mission behind what Trump's doing. Some people think there is. He's called from God to change it so that abortion is okay and, the quote unquote conservative values rule. There's no conservative values. There are none. They're just values: goodness, decency, honor, respect. That's what it is. It isn't Republican. You can see that plain and simple if you just look. It isn't Democrat. Democrats do some of the same thing, but not as egregiously as what's going on in the Republican Party. And it's not just America, it's all over the world. You can see it in different countries. You just see it. It just happens. Why? Because people are people. But crying out loud, people are people. They are not unified. They are not one way. They don't follow a system. Because why? Because many are just lied to. Why? Because other people want power. And how do you get power? You don't tell them by just being good and decent and honorable. They don't think they're going to get power that way. They're going to work to get power. Power doesn't just come to those who sit back and wish for it. Although I've seen some of these evangelical preachers saying, God wants me to have that private jet. Give me the money so I can have that private jet, so I can do his work better. And you have to suffer because people are want to give. They want to give to the righteous things. They think that this guy is righteous. But most of us would look at it and say this is a con. And it is a con. God doesn't want you to do those kind of things. Why? If he's a good God, what are you relating to here? It's a lie. And that's the subject of this clip, lying. It's so pervasive today, and don't get me wrong, lying's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. It's just the way it goes. But the media today with the internet, the lies, the deceit, the self-deceit even, is so incredible. It's just so pervasive. You can lie to yourself. Of course you can. I can lie to myself. I can deceive myself. Why couldn't I? I'm a human being. I listen to this stuff out there, but I try not to do it. I know that I'm susceptible to advertising. I know I'm susceptible to material that comes off the internet. I'm not going to be sitting and advocating for Mr. Trump. I've heard some of his speeches. I've heard some of the things he said. And those like Miss Green who follows him, you know, I can't abide by some of the things they say. They're not honorable people. They don't. And the biggest thing, because I am raised in the Christian ethic, they don't abide by Christ. They don't abide by Christ's simple word. There is nothing in that. There is nothing in that. The law itself is not Christ. The law is just a law. People make the law. And that's where the lies come in. We deceive ourselves. We understand that. I think everybody would understand that if you reflect within yourself. You can deceive yourself. You can become, it's not a matter of a policy, a financial policy, or a Gaza policy, or a Ukraine policy, or a Jewish policy, or a wall policy, or a bridge building policy. And my gosh, I couldn't believe when I heard a conspiracy on the Baltimore Bridge. Come on. These things happen. Could it be a terrorist act? I guess it could. But the conspiracy thing is just so whacked out because it's just a go-to. Whatever can be conspiracy is a conspiracy. From the Sandy Hook killings, all those things, conspiracies, conspiracies, conspiracies. It can't all be conspiracies. It can't all be prosecutions. It can't be all everything. There is right and decency and honor in people. And that's where the lies come in. So what do we do? How do we avoid it? In my last clip, I talked about believing what you see. That's the same methodology. How to avoid lies. How to avoid lies to yourself. I think primarily that's it. Because if you can lie to yourself, other people can lie to you. Now, have I told myself lies? I suppose I have. It doesn't register as to what it was. But I've done things that are pretty stupid in my life. I guess I've told myself lies to do stupid things. Things that risk my life, things that risk my financial and my family's financial future. I've done those things. Why? Because I told myself it's a good thing. Obviously, I didn't tell myself it was a bad thing and go ahead and shoot myself in the foot. But I did it. Why? Because I believed in that lie. Why did I believe in that lie? That's a very good question. I cannot tell you why I believed in that lie. But I do know that we can avoid those lies to ourselves. There's misinformation, and yes, lies might be a strong word. You may have objection to the word lie, but it has to be strong words in this world today. People are not listening to modified language. And again, I watched this last Kimmel little shtick he put on. To me, it was just too much, way too much. These comedians do tell the truth in their own way. but they go overboard. They want the ratings. They want the humor. They want to sell what people want to hear, supposedly. But it's a fine line between what humor is, what communication is, and what decency is. And what I saw was not decent in my eyes. Am I lying to myself there? I don't think so. Because I feel that it's the right way to be. How do I know that feeling is the right thing to do? Because it's a spirit that, as you think about it, where does it lead you? It leads you to a better place. If the thinking leads you to a better place, go to that place. Follow that feeling. If the feeling says, no, I'm going to go to a worse place, then don't go to that feeling if you can. Sometimes you do. You can't bat yourself in the head every time you make a mistake. There's a conflict in people. That's a conflict in us all. But lying out there in today's world, I mean, it's just everywhere. Everywhere you see it, it's just changing. But you gotta, well, I get a little carried away. Okay, it's not everywhere. It's many places. And I have to be careful in my words. I've been told that before. I use those words like never, this, and all those things. And we all do. But it is not never. It's not all encompassing. My apologies for that. But in many, many places you see the lies. Open your eyes. Open your eyes to what is real to you. Does it go to the good? And not just one step. Not just two steps. Follow the chain of what that action can take. And eventually, as you follow it, you see it, you're inspired by it, take it. Believe it. Because it'll probably go to the good. And if you find halfway down the chain you made a mistake, change. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be sad. Don't be critical. Don't be this. Just change. Know you can. And do it. But it starts from lies. Lying to oneself. Thanks for listening. I hope, if you feel some value in these clips, please forward it on. Subscribe and hit the like button for whatever that does. I guess it says people like it. So, but, I have a small viewership, but people are impacted by the channel, and I appreciate that. Continue to view. I don't know if I address all the things that you want or feel important, but I'm going to continue to strive to be on point with the feelings. It's difficult because these clips are extemporaneous. They come out of my heart. They're not written down. I don't do a big production thing. And they just follow the thinking. Thanks for listening. Have a good day. Bye for now.